I am a huge fan of both the Zombie Army and the Sniper Elite games, so when I seen that Rebellion reached out to me to play Atomfall with its brand new DLC, I was beyond excited to partner with them on this. So I'm going to 100% complete Atomfall by getting every single trophy there is, and to do that I'll be playing through the main game and both of the DLCs for a total of 11 different story endings, and I'll even have to get good enough to speedrun the whole game at the end. But on top of that, I figured for my first playthrough I'd jump in on the hardest difficulty the game has, which is where I wake up in this bunker not knowing who or where I am. But after snapping a couple necks, I end up making my way outside. Oh damn, here we go. Out into the world. Damn, that looks so cool. That is an awesome looking world right there. So I started exploring a bit and found my first weapons and even ended up coming across my first enemies here. Oh my god, what the heck? Where'd he come from? Oh my god, get me out of here. Crouch. Oh, go, 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 go. Oh my god, that... Holy crap. That scared the shit out of me. What? What? No, bro, no, no. Oh my... No. But eventually I got out of there and made my way over to find Molly the trader. And once I did, I traded her my hard-earned shotgun and potatoes for a metal detector. Hey, there we go. First trophy. Detectorist. And as soon as I left there, I ran right into another enemy and this happened. Oh my god, caught red-handed. Caused an enemy to drop their Molotov. But eventually I made my way over to Windham for the first time. And upon entering the village hall here, I found a few items I needed. Ooh, slice of cake. Tea, pasty, slice of cake. IT. So this is also where I get to meet Captain Sims for his storyline, which also ends up being the only one I screwed up later. Anyways, I decided to head over to the bakery next, where I not only find an infected man, but I also get into a cricket bat fight with his wife. What do you expect me to do? Oh my god, none of that had to happen. But hey, at least I got some good loot, which is exactly what I wanted more of. So I took my metal detector out for the first time and ended up finding something crazy in this park. Wait, what is that? Oh, it's the sponsor of today's video, Atomfall. Set in an alternate 1962, 5 years after the Windscale nuclear disaster, Atomfall drops players into a quarantine zone across northern England where every choice matters. Your decisions shape alliances, enemies, and the game's multiple endings. And through the leads and investigation system, you'll gather evidence, interrogate residents, and unravel conspiracies. And there's also a brand new add-on called the Red Strain, bringing players to a new treacherous mining region where you'll face deadly outbreaks, wield powerful new weapons, unlock fresh skills, and uncover gripping mysteries. And the best way for new players to jump in just released with the Atomfall Complete Edition, which includes the main game and both the Wicked Isle and Red Strain expansion packs. And having played 100% of this game, I can for sure say it is a blast. From the insane lore you piece together along the way to just exploring the amazing world. And after I filmed this video, they released a quality of life update that includes fast travel, new weapons, and more. And you can experience it all for yourself by clicking the link in the description or pinned comment and getting your hands on the Atomfall Complete Edition or the Red Strain DLC. And both are available right now on every platform. So what's actually in the case is this Survivor's Revolver from the pre-order bonus, which not only is going to help me with my next trophy, but also saves my ass so many times throughout my runs. And the trophy it gets me is for killing 6 enemies in a row without reloading. And honestly, I didn't even know this was a trophy. I just happen to be that good, I guess. Target practice. It's 6 kills without reloading. Damn. Now, although I am playing on veteran, the settings you can mess with for difficulties is crazy. I mean, you can literally change anything you want, from the amount of loot spawns to the amount of enemy spawns or the difficulty. But the only things I changed were some things to help me know where I'm going, because, well, I need the help, okay? And I also turned on unlimited run, which, I mean, come on, that's just amazing. Although it still does have its downside, since your heart rate gets too fast, messing up your vision and your hearing, which in turn makes the enemies notice you better. And around this point, I just kind of got lost in exploring the world and running around tracking down leads. I raided and looted my way through a whole bunker and even ended up in a fist fight with a priest. But hey, look, he stabbed someone first, alright? I didn't want to. But anyways, I eventually came across my 5th trader while exploring, which crosses me yet another trophy off the list. But things got a bit heated after that. So as part of Captain Sim's story, he sends me to talk to Dr. Garrow in this prison here, which does give me one helpful thing I've been trying to find, and that's the signal redirector, which I'll get more into after. But here's where I did what I'm pretty sure is what screwed my Captain Sim's ending. You see, instead of leaving Dr. Garrow there, I helped her escape so I could get her ending later as well. But I guess I didn't take into account for the fact that all the alarms would go off and the enemies would start shooting at me from every direction. But I was able to make it through the first part with no problem until I ran into my first encounter with these terrifying robots. And since I was so shook, I just played it as safe as possible, staying down in this stairwell and shooting from below until his battery popped out. And then once I go steal that battery, I actually get another trophy. Unplugged. Oh, it gives me a trophy too. And from there, I was able to run my way straight out of the prison. Now I really had to be careful basically everywhere I went, since Protocol absolutely hated me. Every single time I even passed by a robot, I was screwed. And I learned that quite a few times actually. So now I just had to find certain pathways to be able to sneak through every area, which was just trial and error. But it eventually brought me across some loot. And even with enemies on my tail, I just could not refuse. Dig, 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 quick, 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 before they kill me. Oh, look at trophy. That's hilarious. Where there's muck, there's brass. Now I just had to get to Captain Sims without being killed. And well, this is what happens as soon as I went outside. But eventually I found my way back to him and convinced me I had nothing to do with letting Dr. Garrow escape. And that brings things back to normal so I could roam freely again. And then I had spent the next while just following leads and completing every mission I could possible, leaving me only with leads that go to the interchange or the DLCs. And I figured before going through to the interchange for my first time, I'd go through 100% of the new Red Strain DLC first. But before that, I quickly got 2 more trophies out of the way. The first for finding my 5th buried lunchbox, and then the next one is for finding my 50th note laying around the map. And with that, now it's time to enter the Red Strain. And after an elevator ride down to this creepy mine shaft, that's exactly where I end up. Although I did make sure to make a save file for later before I entered. But right off the rip, I had the chance to get a trophy here for boxing out one of the contaminated enemies. Holy crap, those are red people. Which didn't go so well the first time. Come on, please die, just die. Oh my god. No. So I made sure to get a shot in before going for a second try at it. Nope, nope. Oh, I got it. There we go. Red-handed. So the outside area of this map is split into 2 different sections. One before this wall here, and then the one on the other side of the wall. Well, just getting to the other side was where I was having problems. The first part of it was using that signal redirector from earlier to solve the puzzle and unlock the gate. And then the harder part was actually just dodging the turrets to get through. That was stupid. That was stupid. That was stupid. And of course, as soon as I do get through, I ran into these terrifying enemies for the first time. No, please go away. Why isn't he dying? Oh my. Okay, he died. He died. Holy crap. Oh my god. He's so intimidating. Oh my god. He's like the Terminator. There we go. But my next goal was to enter an underground bunker here, which of course had a robot guarding it. And here's actually the very first time that I fully killed a robot, resulting in me getting this trophy. Let's go. Any old iron. But I made my way down into the bunker and found Dr. Keen. Well, his voice anyway. But he sends me off to start the storyline here. And well, that's where I learned that robots are literally everywhere around this map. But I also had seen that you're able to put a battery back into a robot. And well, it didn't go as I thought it would. Batteries not included. Oh, he comes back after me? Oh my god, I thought he would be my friend. Now I was headed on my way to find Dr. Keen's colleagues, but not without one quick stop for some loot. Homemade? What's that one for? Find and learn 10 recipes. Let's go. But then right after that, I was on my way, which is where I not only discovered the command center, but also this brain in a jar. And well, it can talk too. So this brain is one of the 5 scientists around the map I need to find and place into this command center to complete the storylines here. Permission granted. Which also gives me a crazy view of the whole map. And so now I just had the goal of exploring and finding brains, which also brought me across my first and only robot that's nice to me so far. Nice change of pace compared to the 3 robots in a row I had to fight my way through in this basement, as well as all the contaminated enemies too. That was super fun. But I did eventually find my next brain and made my way out. And I also found this fun little weapon. So as part of this new DLC, you can also gain a perk that lets you use the robot's weapons after they explode. And well, here's how OP they are. Holy shit. See how you like it. Now to be able to get the next brains, I'll have to bring them back each time to unlock the next area, which is a whole journey on its own. Navigating this map on Veteran is insane. What the fuck is that? What is that? What is that? Oh my god, there's another one. I can't even tell you the amount of times I would die just getting from one place to the other. Oh, the robot saved my ass. Oh, and then the robot killed me. Literally just moving was trial and error. I mean, there's enemies everywhere. Terminator, 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 Terminator. Oh my god, But I eventually figured out good routes to take and made it to this bunker to fight off even more creepy enemies. And after I was through with them, I grabbed Brain 3 and was on my way back. But I figured it had been a hot minute since I popped a trophy, so I found a super easy one I could get and went for it. Oh my god, that didn't work. Alright, well, once I found out how to do it, it was easy. 6, that's all I had to do. Hit for 6. So the reason I needed the signal redirector before I came into the DLC is because in here you can upgrade it to the signal redirector MK2, which not only opens a bunch of new doors, but also gives me the ability to control enemy turrets and robots. So more on that later. But another thing I found is a red strain sample, which I'm actually able to eat and contaminate myself with, making me way stronger. And there's a trophy for killing 3 enemies with my fists while it's active. And well, they have guns, so the first time didn't go so well. But after running back out there for a second try, I was able to whoop all 3 of them. Punch them out, punch them out, punch them out. Knock out, knock out. There we go. Must kill. So then after a little bit more traveling, I was able to get brain number 4 placed into the command center, which is where they all tell me that Dr. Keene is evil and I should leave him behind and go get a different 5th brain. And I mean, Dr. Keene is the whole reason I even got all these brains, so I could sense the split endings coming up and made sure to make a save right here so I could come back after for the other one. And my decision right now was to grab Dr. Keene first. But before that, there's another new thing from this area I had to use. Red mist bombs, which make all the enemies fight each other, and I needed to affect 6 of them at once, which thankfully all happened to be standing right outside of the command center door in a group. Oh yes, I got it. Fight amongst yourselves. But now I was off to Dr. Keene, and thankfully he was damn near right next door, so that made things easier. But after only a few more quick tests, he sends us off to the interchange, and upon my first time opening the door, I get this trophy. The interchange. And from there, I was able to power up both Delta and Charlie to get those trophies out of the way. But since I had no clue I needed to save my batteries, that was all I had left, bringing me to some really desperate measures to get the other 2. Which also might have been the other reason Sims kills me at the end. But I also realized that I could get another trophy here by using the new signal redirector to control this robot. I just had to take the battery, hack the robot, then throw the battery back in, and then I just had to get him to mow down 5 enemies. There we go, new directive, got it. And well, to make matters worse with Protocol, I just kept on killing robots, taking batteries, and wiping out every single enemy in sight. 1, because I needed the batteries, and 2, because I had finally unlocked the skill to upgrade weapons, and I needed to find a few of the same kind to max upgrade one of them. And well, after wiping out the whole damn army, I had finally gotten them. Let's go, make, do, and mend. But now that I had my batteries, I made my way into the next interchange entrance to power up the Bravo sector. Now Alpha was a bit more difficult for me, and for the sole reason that I had no clue where to get spores, which I did find out later that they're in every single blue flower. But hey, never said I was a genius. And here's my reaction to finally finding some after half an hour. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, I got it. And so finally I went to power up the last sector, and from there all that was left to do was power up the central processor to gain access to this next and final area. Oberon! Oh, and since I had no clue what to expect, I figured it would be best to throw in some skill upgrades, which popped this trophy. Learn 12 skills. And now it's finally time for my first introduction to Oberon. Well, not before spending 20 minutes just trying to get there for the first time. Thankfully, there was enough spores for me to have the immunity, but damn, this was hard. And I definitely did not have enough ammo here, so my best bet was to just make a run for it. But no matter which way I turned, I just kept running into enemies. So I decided to hack this turret and just bait every single one of them over to it. And after clearing them all out, I had a free run back. And I was also super happy to find out that I could just run through this whole area like nothing without getting a single kill later. But for now, to finish Dr. Keene's storyline, I needed to destroy Oberon, which involves me somehow getting past all these flamethrower robots to flip the explosives. But once I remembered that I could use the new power to take over robots, that's the first thing I did, and I started an all-out flamethrower war. Although he did lose the very last battle. Get him! Oh no! But he did just enough damage for me to finish it off and have a free run to trigger the bombs. Alright, here we go. Should be able to destroy Oberon. And from there, all I needed to do was run as fast as my legs could take me to get out of there before I explode. Which, even surprising to myself, I made it on the very first try, mostly unscathed. Now all I had to do was head back to Dr. Keene for the ending. Collapsing the heavens. First ending down. And not only are we blowing up Oberon, but we're destroying everything. Now to fully complete the red strain, I had 2 more things to do, and the first of those is collect 10 gnomes laying around the map. And while at this point I had a total of 0. And while I also absolutely suck at collectibles, I could have spent another 10 hours scouring the map and I wouldn't have found one. But thankfully someone had posted a video where they all were already, completely saving me. I mean, look at this. In behind a waterfall, I would have never checked here in a million years. Oh, and here's how getting the last one went down. No, I'm supposed to get the last one. I can't die. No, no. Oh, and it happened again. But by the 3rd time, I had learned my lesson and then just ran straight at the gnome. Screw this guy, screw this guy. I don't even care. I'm just running at the gnome and I'm gonna punch it. That's it. Give me the trophy. Yes, gnome on the range. Thank you, Trophy Tom, you're awesome. And now the final trophy here is for the other ending, and thankfully I made that save at the perfect time earlier. But now I had to get the other 5th head, which after a few tasks I found out it's all the way over at the interchange again. So I made my way over there and powered up a couple sites even while I was at it. But then I brought Sergeant Terry here all the way back and powered the station up fully. So for this ending, they all want to get sent to a satellite lab that's in orbit, which brings me to the first task to do that, powering up the rocket, which of course has 2 robots guarding it. And I didn't have the means to take both out, leaving me with my only solution to stealth it. But once that was over with, it was back through to Oberon for me. And no, it didn't go any better this time. I'm a complete idiot and didn't have a single thing to heal with. But that's about when I realized I could just book it straight through and found myself a good path to do so. Now for this ending, they wanted me to take a sample from Oberon for them to bring to space. And of course that would require 2 more batteries, of which I had 0. But thankfully I had saved up some ammo at this point, and I was able to lure 2 of the robots down there over to me and take them out one by one, getting their batteries. And from there I just had to extract my sample and head back to the red strain for the final time, where I give them the sample and send them off to the space station. But not just them, my brains end up getting cut out and sent up there as well. How to become a brain in a jar. Creature of thought. So with that done now, we had to go back to the main game for a bit to finish off the rest of those trophies, which is where I found out that Sims hates me. But I also unlocked a trophy for opening 5 doors with the redirector, since the DLC doors don't count, I guess. And since I made a save before destroying Oberon, I was able to reload that one, where instead of going to Dr. Keen, I went and escaped with the voice on the telephone to get this trophy completed. Although I didn't actually look up where to make any saves, I just relied on my own guesses, which made my next one super long, and that was Joyce Tanner's ending, since I hadn't even spoken to her yet, and so I had to do every single one of her missions. Well, that and the fact I did all of her missions once, only to realize that I missed the end part where I was supposed to give her a sample as well. So that wasted about an hour, and well, I just deleted that footage. But for her ending, she also wanted Oberon destroyed. Well, I had that down by now. Oh, and also along the way, she left me an audio log, which is my 5th one for this trophy. But then I ran my way over to her with the sample this time, and we dipped out in a helicopter. Well, almost. It was too suspect. I knew there was no way. And after that is Mother Jago's ending trophy. And she has a new way to end it, which is honestly probably the easiest. I just had to throw this growth stimulant in the sprayers and then turn 2 valves to ready it. Then of course the final lever and running all the way back to her, where the crazy lady then makes us jump into this pit. I highly doubt she's jumping after me. At one with the soil, another ending down. But next up we had Dr. Holder's ending, and to get there I had to run through mostly all of his missions, just like the other one. Well, that and the fact I kept getting flamethrowed by these damn robots once I did finally get to the end. But to achieve this one, I just did the same as the last, where I had to spin these valves and then spray Oberon. But this time on the way back, I had the chance to get another trophy for taking out 5 enemies with 1 explosion, just like so. Yes, got it, grand slam. Then I ran my way back to Holder and got that ending out of the way. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. But another ending down. And for the next trophy, I decided to have a bit of fun. I loaded up an old save file and went around throwing an axe into everyone just like this, which also gets me a trophy for killing 10 enemies in that manner. There it is, fastball. And then the final ending I could get for now was with Dr. Garrow, where I just had to extract a sample and we dipped through this hidden door. So now there was just one ending left, and that is Captain Sims. And since I also needed to speedrun the whole game and also beat the game without answering the phone, I figured I'd do all 3 at once in the end. But before that, I have one more DLC to go through. Well, actually I had to destroy a few more gnomes in the main game for this trophy, but then it was time for the Wicked Isle DLC. So I used my save file from right before I entered the red strain for this one, so I could experience it completely separate. I also turned my difficulty down for this one because I was running out of time and I needed to get to editing. But just like the other expansion, it starts off with me fist fighting the new enemies. Fish fingers. Gross. And then also right off the rip, I found 3 items I needed to eat for another trophy here. Midsummer picnic. Then I talked to Bill and started running through the missions, and I ended up coming across my first memory from these monks, and I need 8 total throughout this story for a trophy. Oh, and I was also able to upgrade my metal detector to the MK2 version here. But for my next trophy, I had to use a lure on this beekeeper's bees. But 2 problems. 1, I killed the beekeeper before I seen that was a trophy, and 2, I didn't even have lures unlocked. So I went scouring the main world for a good 20 minutes before I finally found it. Oh my god, the video was actually right. Thank you. Oh my god. But then it was back to the first problem. You see, the beekeeper sends the swarms at you, but since he was dead, I was so confused. But I eventually decided to try one simple trick. Kick the tree and hope for the best. Let's go, buzzkill. I thought it wasn't gonna work for a second. Oh man. But then I made my way around exploring the island, which is thankfully smaller than the other DLC, so I didn't have to deal with as many enemies. And no robots here, that's a big one. But I ended up meeting someone for another one of the 3 endings here, and that's Jean Hamer. I also stole this head in a jar from her and then lied about it. Great start to the friendship. But there's also a few comic books in here for me to loot, which finished off the 10 total I needed for this main game trophy. And that collectible trophy inspired me to get the other one done here, which was another 15 gnomes. And yes, I looked up a guide because there's no way I would ever even think to check places like this. But here's the last one. Yes, sir. Our island gnome. Now once again I had a few more missions to run through and collect some keys. Even had to go to the interchange. But once I found and collected all 4 of the keys I needed, they opened up the door to this crypt here. Exhumation. And these monks here are also my 8th memory from them, which gets me that trophy I was talking about earlier. Recalling our past. So that head I grabbed earlier is called the Angel, and upon placing him on this body, it brings him back to life. And here I get the choice between helping him, or what I did for the first time is talk him down from what he wants to do. And so for this storyline, he gives me a poisoned head. And of course I had to go power up the interchange again, but with that head I put it into the sprayer to poison Oberon. And once I do that, he gives us an escape down into this grave. Mind over matter. First escape done. Now for the second ending with the Angel, I loaded back to a save right before I talked to him, and this time I chose to help him get what he wants. And what he wants is just like last time, I have to put his head in the sprayer. But this time it's not poisoned, and he just wants to be a part of Oberon. Then to end it, I just have to sit on this throne and I get this. I also get a nice crown. And for the final trophy in the DLC, I had Jean's ending. So instead of talking to the head, I just cut out a piece of this fallen angel. Oh, and then I just had to blow up Oberon. But then I give her the shard piece she wanted, and I head off to sail into the sunset. Last trophy from the DLC. Now that leaves me with 3 trophies and 1 platinum to get, which I'm going to do all at once. And the first step was to start up a brand new game, because I had to get Captain Sim's ending while not answering the phone at all, and on top of that, speedrunning the game in under 5 hours. And at this point, I knew enough to be able to destroy Oberon no problem. And I mean, not answering the phone is pretty simple, but since I messed up Captain Sim's storyline last time, I was stumped on that one. And so I did have to look up the steps for Captain Sim's missions, which was basically all the exact same as last time, besides the part where I pissed him off with freeing his prisoner. But I also made sure enough to grab enough batteries along the way and everything I needed. And after just over an hour of time, brought me back to Sims. And I guess you could say I was a bit scared for the outcome. Oh, please don't shoot me in the head. Please don't shoot me in the head. Please don't shoot me in the head. Yes. Oh my god. This is the end. Now please give me all the trophies. There it is, Operation Atom Fall. That's for getting his ending. Not expecting a call, that's for not answering the phone. And quick exit for the speed run. Let's go. And finally, the Platinum, Pride of Britain. What an awesome game. That was actually a blast. So that was 100% on Atom Fall. And if you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thank you for watching, and a huge thank you to Rebellion for sponsoring this video. And don't forget to uncover the mysteries of the quarantine zone for yourself by playing Atom Fall in the new Red Strain expansion. Available on Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS5 and PS4, and PC via Steam or Epic Game Store now using my links in the description or the pinned comment.